News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Now, UCLA, this is what DEI is doing, and this is why you better thank God the great state of Texas banned DEI garbage. Because it's cancer and it destroys the schools. It teaches people to hate Jews and to hate anybody that is that is considered quote unquote white, like the Jews and everybody and Asians too. It discriminates against. So it's just deadly and it's poison. And also, it puts people in the positions of students that don't belong in there. And that leads them to fail, and it destroys the institution. Look no further than one of the greatest, what was one of the greatest medical schools in the country, UCLA, at the David Geffen School of Medicine. They receive as many as 14,000 applications. Guess how many positions they have for students? Okay, producer Garrett, just guess, wild guess. 14,000 applications. Guess how many students they accept every year for the UCLA Medical School? Take a wild. No, because I would think so too. 14,000 applications, maybe 1,000 students. No, 173. That's how insanely competitive it is, okay? So 14,000 applications for 173 students that they accepted in 2023. Okay, guess what? They also had that's a record low acceptance rate of 1.3%. 1.3% get accepted. So if you apply to UCLA and you're the best of the best, you got to apply to one or two other schools. That doesn't mean you're going to get it, right? Not anymore. Look at this. By the way, the median matriculant took difficult science courses in college and earned a 3.8 GPA. What is that, 3.8 out of 4? I think. Okay. And they would score in the 80th percentile on the MCAT, the medical college admissions test. Now, when it came for the admission committee, this is a great report from the Free Beacon, just a few highlights from the story that I did when I read it. When it came for a time for the admissions committee to consider one such student in the DEI garbage, one student that checked the boxes, their grades and their test scores were far below the UCLA average, but they checked all the boxes for DEI. Their grades and their test scores were far below UCLA, say these members of the committee, and they felt that it was so bad he or she was not the best fit for the top tier medical school. However, wasn't well received. The dean of admissions exploded in anger. Did you not know that people of color, women of color, are dying at a higher rate than everybody else, she screamed? This is according to the members of the committee. We need people like this in the medical school. So she says we need people whose grades and test scores fell far below. They were not at the level they needed to be to achieve. Well, the DEI admissions have now turned UCLA into a, quote, failed medical school, says one former member of the administration staff. Quote, we want diversity so badly, we're willing to cut corners to get it. Within 3 years of this woke dean's hiring in 2020, so in 3 years, from 2020 to 2023, the first 3 years, UCLA dropped from the 6th place in the United States, U.S. News and World Report, from the 6th place medical school to 18th. They dropped from 6th to 18th in just 3 years of this new dean coming in that was super woke. And in some of the cohorts admitted more than 50% of students failed standardized tests. Half of their students failed standardized tests on emergency medicine, family medicine, and internal medicine, and pediatrics. Can you imagine somebody graduating from UCLA Medical School who fails half of their tests on everything that matters? Would you want one of these people, regardless of who they are, what they look like? Would you want somebody that failed half of their tests in pediatrics to be your child's doctor or your child's ER doctor? Would you want one of these people that failed internal medicine to be your doctor for internal medicine for you or your children or your wife or your husband? Would you want them to be your doctor for family medicine, for your family doctor? Would you want them to be an emergency doctor? My answer is no, as HE double hockey sticks, no on all of them. How about you? My question is, do you want DEI for your medical care? And how about for your police, fire, and pilots, for example? Do you want DEI for your pilots, your airline pilots? Do you want DEI for your cops? Do you want it for any of these critical fields? But medicine is insane. This is insane. And people are going to die because of it. People of all colors and all walks of life. The uptick coincided with a steep drop in the number of Asian students. So it doesn't matter who you are or what you look like. What matters is if you suck and you can't pass tests, get the hell out of the school. That's not happening. So would you want somebody that fails half their tests to be your doctor in any scenario? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. How about failing half their tests for at pilot school, but getting a job anyways, or in training for like South Woke, for example, or American? How'd you like that to happen to you? You want a pilot that does that? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. My answer is no on all that, never. And you put a cop that doesn't belong in there too, they're going to end up killing somebody. Look what happened in Memphis. They were so desperate for cops in Memphis with that case for those 7 cops. Remember that? And they beat the crap out of that kid. Or that guy. He wasn't a kid. He was an adult. And he was a bad dude. Trust me. But he didn't deserve to be treated the way he was treated. And those cops they all checked all the boxes. But you know what they didn't do? They had bad records. Many of them had bad records. They had bad records. They had no business being a cop. Several of them one of them was former corrections, and he had horrible things on his record. Horrible, like beating and mistreating inmates. And what do you expect? You put people that don't belong in there? You got the St. George Floyd effect? Blessed be his name, St. George Floyd. Blessed be his name. And because that convict who died of a drug overdose in the custody of the Minneapolis police dies, you lose all your cops, and then you get people who aren't qualified. Well, there you go. That's what you get. All right? You don't want that in any field. Well, at least I don't. All right, next. This is coming up next. We're going to have a little fun. I want to have fun. I want to spice it up. It's Friday night. Wheel of Fortune. Did you see this today? A Wheel of Fortune contestant went viral, like really viral, for an X-rated answer to the puzzle. They call it a puzzle, right? Would you like to solve the puzzle? What do they call it? Would you like to solve the blah, blah, blah? I don't know what they call it. Anyways, he said yes, and it was X-rated. He didn't mean to be X-rated, but he literally honestly thought that it was the woman. It was 3 people up there for Wheel of Fortune, right? The lady that was two seats over, competing against him, she said, "What?" I've got the audio of that, but listen, this story today that you'll hear, I'll play it for you. And Pat Sajak shut that down immediately when the guy said it. Plus, the words don't match up when you actually take the letters you thought it was. It's like, dude, that's a 4-letter word. It's a 4-letter word, and it's a 5-letter word you just put in there. It's so funny. But listen, it is bested by one of the greatest answers of any game show of all time. You may not have heard this one, but I will play that for you too. I've got both of them. It did not make it to the show. When this one did, from Wheel of Fortune, I believe, but the one I'm going to share with you that bests this one, that's even way better than this one. Do you know which one I'm thinking of, Producer Garrett? You're gonna go, oh my gosh. There's actually 2 versions I've heard. The only one I could find online was one of a female. And there's also one of a man, and I got to find it. I can't find it. I'll keep trying, but we'll play some of that for you coming up next. You don't want to miss this. Next to the Chris Crock Show, Friday night edition on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Wheel of Fortune contest from Fox News. Contestant goes viral for X-rated answer. Quote, will be played for eternity. Social media had a field day with the contestants' not safe for work guests on Wheel of Fortune. They may have made history yesterday for one of the most mystifying answers ever given by a contestant. No, I've got one that you're going to hear, but there's one that's even better that I cannot find. But I will tell you about it. Now, for the Wheel of Fortune one that just happened yesterday, they say things got rated on the family-friendly, X-rated on the family-friendly game show when a contestant named Tavares misidentified a popular phrase. Okay, Vanna White was on hand to reveal part of the phrase. The board read, and it was so... I'm trying to make... This is radio, so it's not going to make sense, but I'll just do it. The first letter was 4 words. Excuse me, the first word was 4 letters, okay? 4 letters. The next one was I. So it's four letters that were at blank. Then I and a blank. And the next one was blank and T. And the next one was B blank blank T. Okay? So Tavares took a look at the game board, quickly buzzing in. He had the answer. And he literally said this. Are you ready? Can I say this? I'll play this. Hold on. Here we go. Here's what he... Did you look it up, Producer Garrett? No, here we go.
Tavares, right in the butt?
What?
No. Blake.
This is the best.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so this is a 4-letter word. This is the best. He said right... what did he say? Right in the butt. Okay. Right in the butt. Now the word right is R-I-G-H-T. It's 5 letters, and the first word is 4 letters. So it's like, dude, you didn't even. It's this T-H-I-S. That's 4 letters. This is the best. He thought it was right in the butt. What the heck, dude? What are you thinking? I mean, what is this crap? All right.
What the hell are you thinking?
Thank you, Dr. Friel. All right. The correct answer was this is the best, not right in the butt. Dude, I mean, my gosh, dude. I suppose he's now infamous, right? And then it says the show also shared a hilarious clip on their official Instagram page, eliciting even more reactions. The look on his face after saying it is what somebody said. Sajak said no, definitively. And then the guest, Beth, she said, what? Do we need a replay or is that enough? Producer Garrett, come on. Replay or is that enough on this one? Okay, yeah, we need a replay. Here we go.
What the hell are you thinking?
Sorry, wrong button. This one.
Tavares, right in the butt?
What?
No. Blake.
This is the best.
Yeah, that's it.
What's sad is the guy wasn't trying to be funny. He just really was that incompetent or that dirty-minded. But here, right in the butt doesn't have to mean a sexual reference. It might mean you hit him right in the butt with your, you threw a baseball bat or a baseball at him and you hit him right in the butt real hard. That's not X-rated. So other people make it X-rated, but there you go. Now, this one could be considered X-rated, and this one's way better. This one in the Wheel of Fortune, it's funny, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing compared to the Newlywed Game. And I'm trying to find, I'm going to tell you something right now. All right. The Newlywed Game, there was a question, and he said, where's the strangest place you've ever done it? They're newlywed, so they ask all sorts of questions, and it's a little racy, right? Where's the strangest place you've ever done it? And the guy said, well, I'd have to say, in the you-know-what, Bob. And, same thing this guy said. Well, I have to say in the you-know-what, Bob. And everyone's like, oh, my gosh. And he's like, no, we mean like in the laundry room. I mean, it's your wife. It's okay to do that. You can do whatever you want. It's your beautiful wife. But he's like, no, in the laundry. Well, I'd have to say in the you-know-what, Bob. I mean, dude, where's the strangest place? But then... here's what that was. That was an African-American man with his newlywed wife, probably in the 70s or 80s. That's where I first saw that. I'm going to tell you right now, I cannot find it online. But my wife and I have seen it at the same time in the same room. It came up on one of these blooper shows or something. It was so funny. I'm like, oh my gosh. We'd heard about it. We'd seen it before, years before. And it came back on this blooper show. But now the only one I can find is this one. And what's sad is the way that guy did it was even funnier. The one I'm talking about that I can't find online. Well, I'd have to say, in the you know what, Bob, this is what a woman said. This one never made it on TV. They didn't show it, but here we go. And they bleep it here, so here it is.
Girls, tell me where specifically is the weirdest place?
See, this is for girls. When you asked a guy, the guy was, this is a woman, not the guy I'm talking about. The guy I'm talking about was so much funnier because he's like, well, he's a little embarrassed. Well, I'd have to say in the... You know what, Bob? Anyways, here we go.
Girls, tell me where specifically is the weirdest place that you personally, girls, have ever gotten the urge to make whoopee?
In the
No, what I'm talking about is the weirdest location, the weirdest place.
location.
Yeah.
I don't
Give me an answer, please. And he said it was in the car on the freeway.
Oh my gosh, you're driving? That's a ticket right there, and a road hazard, and a hazard, right? Okay, all right, there we have it. A little fun for tonight, right? You like that? Got little smiles out of everybody here. Okay, just watch what you say and realize what you're about to give for the answer, because you're probably not. That's not where they're going. All right, one of the deadliest spiders in the world is resurfacing in the United States. Here's what to look out for, but also, guess what? Texas. It's in Texas. What is it? All right, off the air, producer Garrett, take a quick guess. Do you know what it is? What spider? Deadliest in the world? No, yes. All right, we're going to get into it next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820. And I'm going to ask you a question on this. I'll throw it out right now, and that is, what are the deadliest bites you've had from a spider or a snake or other deadly animals at the ocean, camping, etc.? I want to hear, so you're out there, you've been bitten. I want to hear from you next, too. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Rutrow Rastro, we better be very careful. One of the deadliest spiders in the world resurfacing in the U.S. Here's what you should look out for. Scientists and pest control experts, the Daily Mail says, are urging residents of Texas, Arizona, and other southwestern states to stay vigilant. Deadly black widow spiders are returning this summer. Female of the species can strike with a powerful neurotoxic venom 15 times stronger than a rattlesnake bite. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Dang. Experts warn used for defense to paralyze their prey. The venom can induce severe muscle pain and spasms, heart issues, abdominal cramps, can paralyze the diaphragm, leading to serious trouble breathing. It's mostly a threat to children and the elderly and the infirm. A&M entomologists say that locals should take precautions when dealing with stored items or working in areas where the spiders might hide. Specifically, undisturbed sites such as basements, which we don't really have, and storage areas. Storage areas. Okay, that would be my storage shed, I guess. Oh boy. Deadly black widow spiders are returning this summer, and here's what you need to do to stay safe from the black widow summer spider. They prefer cluttered areas. Personally come across widow spiders hanging out in the outdoor trash cans. Oh boy. Barbecue smoke pits have been untouched for a time, and underneath patio furniture. Holy gosh. Wow. Okay, they also say they prefer to hide out in fortified hiding spots closer to the ground, under stones, wood piles. Oh, geez. I got to watch out for mine. Holes dug by other animals and hollowed out tree stumps. Dang, that's scary. Here's a sign, guys, for black widows. And then we're going to get to Howard, who was apparently bit by a rattlesnake. Okay, that's the kind of stuff I want to hear about. That's terrifying to me. All right, I'm asking the question, what are the deadliest bites you've had from a spider, snake, or other deadly animals, including if you're, at the ocean or out camping, anything. 800-288-WBAP is our number, and how did you get through it? 800-288-9227. Here's some signs for black widows. Uniquely messy webs. Look for what look like are spun by a very drunk spider. Oh, gosh. The black widow typically spins a very messy-looking web. It bears little resemblance to the stereotypical neat and symmetrical web of most spiders. Wow. Here's a guy at a Texas TV station in Polk County, Texas, accidentally grabbed a black widow just before mowing his lawn. I reached for where the handlebar was. I noticed something scurrying. Okay, sure, I was probably the biggest black widow I've ever seen. Oh, gosh. They feed on insects that are out and about in these areas. They'll shine and flash the light. They'll shine when the light flash hits them. What? They have always had a bad reputation. They're quite venomous. Unfortunate, said some dude. I don't care, dude. They're bad to me. Oh, let me tell you one more thing. I'm going to give you a tip that I learned from one of my guys. You know how you have on your landscaping stuff, your water line? Okay, you know how you have to open up your water line to shut your water off to the house for the street, or your, and if you're going in any of those boxes that are, underground, the little plastic boxes, do not just reach in there. Look, they're in there a lot. That's one of the things I've heard. Every time I open that, I'm like, look everywhere with the flashlight before I reach in there. Every time. And by the way, another way to probably stop it would be to wear gloves. Heavy gloves, right? The heavy-duty work gloves. All right. What are the deadliest bites you've had from a spider, snake, or other deadly animals? Ocean, camping, whatever. And how did you get out of it? Get through it? How did you get out of it? Well, Howard, you are calling from Cattle Mills. Wait, I think he means Caddo Mills, not cattle, but Howard from Caddo Mills. You're on 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. I assume it's Caddo, C-A-D-D-O.
Yes, sir, that's right.
All right, good.
Before moving to Dallas area here, I used to live in Phoenix, and I worked for a long-distance company at the central office.
Okay.
On a midnight shift. And I came in one night, and right there on the cement at the front door, because it was still warm from the daytime heat, was a big rattlesnake. So I went and I found this broom handle, and I picked him up carefully, and I was watching him as I was backing up to throw him over the other side of the parking lot.
You picked up a rattlesnake with your bare hands?
No, with a stick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Broomstick.
Okay, sorry.
With a broomstick. And while I was backing up, I backed into a parked car. And when I turned my head to look and see where the car was at,
oh, no.
the sucker swung up and fanged me with a single fang right in the end of the ring finger.
Oh my gosh!
Luckily, there was a hospital not too far away, and so we immediately went over there. And I spent the next about 8 hours in the emergency room watching my finger swell up all the way up to about the second knuckle, and then start to go down. So they had the antivenom on the side, but they never had to use it. But it was
why didn't they have to use it? Is it because you only get hit by one fang, maybe?
Yeah, one fang, and it never got past like the second knuckle in my finger there.
Oh, because they stopped it from the poison from going further?
Well, no, it just wasn't enough poison in my finger to spread any further than that. So
it was probably because it was only one fang, then it sounds like, or?
Yeah, just one fang and just a little prick right on the end of the finger. But boy, when I turned my back on that guy, he took advantage of it and nailed me.
When you walked up to him, was he rattling already?
No, he wasn't actually. But there was a light there, so it was very easy to see him there.
Okay, and when you lifted him up with the broomstick, did he rattle or no?
No.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh,
he was up on the porch. He was up on the concrete where it was nice and warm.
I read a story
in the evening.
I read a story. Some of these people get bit. I don't know if it's rattlesnakes, but some of these people that get bit have to pay $40,000 for like the antivenom or something. I'm not kidding you. I don't know if it's an insurance issue or if it's just what it is. I've read about this. It's insane. But I mean, if it's a life or death or possible life or death, you have to get treated. Thanks for your call, Howard.
And that's probably one of the reasons why they didn't give it to me, because it was very expensive.
Did they tell you that?
They did say it was quite costly, but they didn't tell me how much. So.
Oh my gosh! And did you ever find out if your insurance would have even covered, or just since you dodged the bullet, you didn't ask?
No, I just dodged a bullet and I never asked.
See, I'm telling you something. I've heard it's lots. I'm recalling a number of 40,000. I could be wrong, but I've heard some scary stuff. Thanks for your great call, Howard. Great job. All right, let's go next to Bill in Terlingua. You're on 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Hey, Bill.
Hey, well, I live in Terlingua, Texas, down by Big Bend National Park, and about 4 years ago, I walked out my back door, and there was a Mojave snake there, and I just got my new little Sig.
Where was this again?
I had frangible. What's that?
Where was this again?
Terlingua, Texas, down by Big Bend National Park.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm calling from.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's 10 hours.
It's beautiful, yes.
Anyway,
yeah.
Anyway, I took my Sig out, had frangible, shot it. He was between me and the house, shot him twice. But a week later, I ran up to my other house in Fort Worth, or Rutherford, walked out on the patio, got bit by a copperhead. So I went into the hospital over in Fort Worth. And it was about 12:45 at night when I walked in there because it was late. It was dark when I got bit. I grabbed something out of the back of the truck and beat him down.
Of course you did. You're like, you bleepity bleep. Yeah.
So I put him in a little box, took him with me to the hospital, and
you killed it, though, right?
Yep, killed it. It was in a box, little plastic.
You brought it with to show what it was so you can get treated properly.
Yeah, well, because that's the first question she asked me.
Good question.
What kind of snake is it? And I said, it's a copperhead, and it bit me in the toe. But they did not. She was a visiting nurse that had worked in North Carolina and the state of Washington, and her specialty was spider bites and snake bites.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was lucky. Yep. And anyway.
I thought you said you brought it in a box, though, so she could see it anyway.
I did. I showed it to her, and I held it up. I says, I got it here in the box. And, of course, the people in the emergency room, there were several of them said they exited the thing.
Now, I'm looking up a Mojave, and it looks just like a rattlesnake.
It's different. It's got kind of a greenish color. I still got a headband made out of it.
Okay, cool.
But anyway, they did not give me the antivenom. All they had to do was elevate the leg, and they traced how far it went up my leg and or down my leg, because it would go to the heart, and if you elevated it didn't. So anyway, they did give me no antivenom, just painkillers and stuff.
Did you find out what the cost would have been?
What's that?
Did you find out what the cost would have been for the antivenom?
Down in Terlingua, the last person I talked to, it cost them $42,000.
I told you.
No, seriously.
I said no, but just a few minutes ago, I said I read years ago or a couple years ago for this show here, and I read it was $40,000, so $42,000. And does insurance even cover that?
It would for me, because I'm covered every which way. Military, retirement.
Did your friend have coverage or no?
VA. No, they didn't have coverage. The insurance paid part of it, but not very much.
Oh my God, poor man.
But I killed 2 years ago. I found a nest in my backyard. I killed 15 rattlesnakes, 4 big ones, and all the other ones were little babies.
Wow.
They're down there.
What'd you kill them with? Your gun?
We beat them with hose and rakes and all kinds of shovels.
Wow. Well, you're the snake whisperer. Thanks for your call. Great call. Thank you very much, Bill. Okay, glad you lived to tell about it. We got several people that are going to call in. We got Jim in Fort Worth. Here's the one. My brother got bit by a brown recluse. We're going to hear Jim's story. He'll get more vivid because my brother told me, but I'll tell him my recollections, but we'll hear his story. Bill in Sherman by a brown recluse as well. Wait, a brown recluse 3 times from one guy. I want to hear from both of you. One line open. What are the deadliest bites you've got from a spider, a snake, or other deadly animals, whether at the ocean, camping, or right here in North Texas? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. So, the warning from the news story I shared with you, black widows are out a lot right now in Texas and in other parts of the Southwest. We have them all over the place here in North Texas, unfortunately. It scares the crap out of me. We kind of went through what to look out for, but I want to hear from you. your stories of the times that you've been bit. What are the deadliest bites you've had from a spider, a snake, or other deadly animals at the ocean, camping, or right here in North Texas? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Let's go to Jim in Fort Worth. You're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP.
Good evening. I've been unfortunately bit by brown recluse 3 separate times.
Like each time individually?
Correct.
Have you not gotten the message?
I think about 3 to 4 years.
Sir, have you not gotten the message?
Evidently not.
I want to hear yours, but let me tell you what my brother went through in basic training at Fort Leonard Wood, decades and decades ago, probably 30 years ago or so. He was camping. The tents are, they don't have. I think the sides are. It's not sealed off. Anyways, he was bit overnight, or maybe he put his foot in the shoe. I can't remember which one it was. He got bit. His sergeant, drill sergeant or whatever, said, you're fine. But then it started rotting, the flesh there around where the bite was. And so that whole area, then he sent him to the medical place or whatever for the military base. And they had to scrape out like a 2-inch or 1 or 2 inch round a chunk of flesh that died away or was dying. Is that accurate from what you want? Tell me what you went through and where it was that you got bit these 3 times.
That's very accurate, similar to what happened to me. The first time, the first and third time we think we know where it probably happened as far as the location goes. The second time we don't have any idea, and I never felt any of them, never knew it happened until later.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, didn't have any idea. And the first time I got bit right on the side of the cheek.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Much like you said, the flesh just started rotting, and that's when I knew something was really bad. And when I went to the doctor, they came in, and they first looked at it, and they said, it's a spider bite. I mean, immediately they said, yeah, it's a spider bite, probably a brown recluse. And same thing, they opened it up, they scraped it out, drained it, et cetera, put me on steroids, antibiotics, et cetera, all that stuff. It was took probably about a whole 12 months before it completely cleared up and you can no longer tell that anything had happened there.
So wait a minute, you didn't lose a big chunk out of your cheek and had to get cosmetic surgery or something?
No, but the hole that it left initially, I could fit the tip of my pinky into it. That's how big the hole was.
You had a complete hole in your mouth?
Yes, and then side of my cheek.
Oh my God, how did you eat?
Well, it didn't go all the way through.
Oh, but you could fit your pinky, the tip of your pinky, not all the way through your cheek. Okay.
Correct. I could put the tip of my pinky through it.
That's terrible. You don't know where it happened. Like, you don't go camping, right? So it happened in your house or something?
Well, it was what we figured is, it was a weekend in Rockwall, had driven up there from college, and the people I was staying with pulled a mattress out of the garage that had been stored to sleep on. So we're pretty sure that's where it happened from there.
Yeah.
The second time it happened, I got bit on the side of my knee. Pretty much same thing. And both these 2 times there was no pain involved, which was odd. That second time we don't have any clue where that happened. The third time was in Oklahoma, and that was on the side of my wrist, and that was extremely painful and never could understand why. And when I went to the treated, he said, the problem here is that it's trying to eat the tendon in your thumb. The venom.
So I lost you. Your phone went into like no land. Can you hear me now?
Okay, do you got me now?
Yeah, now I got you. Go ahead.
Okay. The third time was on the side of the wrist where I got bit, and that one was extremely painful, and the doctor says because the venom was trying to eat the tendon away in my thumb.
Oh, my gosh.
And luckily, that doctor was also a herpetologist, so he knew a lot about it. I asked him, I said, man, this is like 3 times in 3 or 4 years this has happened.
He knows a lot. He's a herpetologist, so he knows a lot about herpes. What does that have to do with your story?
Exactly.
That sounds like a personal problem, Jim. I don't want to hear about that part. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
And I asked him, I said, is there like a certain blood type they're trying to do? He said, no, he just got really bad luck. And he said, the only thing you could do for him, really, he said, you can't exterminate for him because he said the term recluse very much fits their name.
Can't
the
find it.
pesticides won't reach them.
Wow.
And he said, but if you eliminate their food source, they're going to leave. And he said their main food source is crickets. And he said if you got crickets in your house, you pretty much being guaranteed you got brown recluse in that.
Wow. All right. Well, listen, I think you're Spider-Man. It's official. You should shoot some webs, brother. Great call. Appreciate you. All right. Let's go to Bill and Sherman. You were bitten by a brown recluse, sir. Talk to me. Go.
Yes, sir. I was crawling underneath a house, and that's not always a lot of space. And anyway, when I somehow laid down on the ground, one bit me just right beside my eye socket. And, of course, there's a lot of bone there.
Oh, dude.
So it didn't, it just kind of spread out to much like the other gentleman described. And anyway, I had some Spanish folks working with me, and they had a cure for it. You scrape the necrotic flesh out with a red hot spoon.
Oh my gosh!
I still have a nasty scar from it, but
if you would have gone to the doctor, you might not have a scar, my friend.
Well,
you're Scarface.
Yeah, I'm Scarface.
You're the original. Great call, Bill. Appreciate it very much. We don't have time for the last one, or do we do? We do. 30 seconds. David, go. Arlington, Brown Recluse, go.
Got bit 3 times in one sitting. I was cleaning out my brother's apartment after he passed away.
Yeah.
And got it on the forearm, one in the hip, and one in the ankle. And it was very uncomfortable. It didn't hurt. I never felt a thing. And the old country doctor that I went to said, put this silver cream on there and you'll be fine. And in 3 weeks, maybe a month, I was cleared up.
Wow. No necrotic flesh.
I lost some, yes, but actually I don't even have a scar.
Good job. It's probably some steroids. Great call, David. I got to roll.